Slater, thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it.
Yay!
So you have this new project.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Worst Girl in America.
Yes, sir.
I'm only just getting to know you. You're very nice.
Thank you.
What's this title mean to you, though?
I feel like it has a lot wrapped into it. It's like a little part of being like from St. Louis, Missouri, feeling kind of like the trashy, like annoying girl at the party a little bit.
Actually kind of famous.
Or that title is like how I think about myself or how I feel sometimes. And there's kind of like a joke about it in a way that I just felt like the right kind of, it felt like the right title for this collection of music particularly, just because I feel like this album kind of sums me up. And I feel like that kind of sums me up as well, whether that's like true or not. It's kind of like a funny thing to like a funny badge of honor to wear, being like, oh, I'm the fucking worst, you know?
Oh, I like this idea of what's true and what's not. I think we're going to get into some of this, but I'm curious about, I'm sure there are many songs, but is there any song that speaks to you that comes to mind right now that you feel like really exemplifies that quality?
I think I think Brittany Murphy, the last song on the album, that's like a very personal song about kind of feeling like a failure.
Please forgive me for all my actions. Found the thoughts that I tried to hide my past in. Yeah, I held myself to these filthy little habits. Stumble asking about, so where's my jacket?
It feels very true to like feeling like the worst or feeling not good enough. And I think that is like, I wanted to end the album on that song for that reason. It kind of like, all this like aggression and angry, like bitter energy. And then it kind of ends in this really personal, sad kind of place.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a song about me. It's not really a song about Brittany Murphy, but she inspires me a lot. And I love the movie Uptown Girls. So I feel like that was like kind of an homage, was the title to her. But it's more of like a song about me and like my own depression and whatnot. So, yeah.
Tell them I am sorry for the gun inside my bedroom drawer. This was inevitable. Only thought it'd make you love me more.
It's very powerful.
Thank you.
It's dark. It's heartfelt.
Thank you.
You end the album that way, but you start in a really different place.
Yeah.
You start with a song called Dance. And yesterday I spoke with your collaborators, Nate Campany and Kyle Shearer, who go as the production duo Valley Girl.
Whoa.
And this is what they had to say about you.
Oh my gosh, what? I love them. This is like, wow. They're just talking shit. They're like, she's a nightmare.
She's one of those artists that before she shows up to the session, she has it all figured out.
I love those guys. It's so funny.
They're so nice.
They've
written some of my favorite music in the world.
Oh my gosh, they're the best.
You lead the album with the song Dance that you make with these guys. They say you have it all figured out.
I kinda hate you, but it doesn't matter, let me dance.
What is that process of making Dance, and why did you want to lead with that song?
I don't really think of it as having it like all figured out, but I guess in a way I do I feel like I go into sessions with not just like visuals in my head, but like the inspiration is already kind of like poking out to me and forming what I want to make or like what directions I want to go into. But I think, Dance was like one of the earlier songs we made for this project. And I think I kept going into sessions showing that as like the reference of like, I just made this song. I want to pull this into like every other sound. And like, I feel like everything sounds kind of different, but I was using that as like a through line. But I just loved it.
It opens with this long intro, kind of like says like greeting us into like a club environment maybe.
Yeah.
Lyrically, it's about a terrible experience.
Yeah.
Seeing someone when you're going out to have a good time who you do not want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that can happen a lot, but it's never so serious. I feel like the song sounds so dramatic and it sounds like it's about someone that I really dislike, but the real story was just like, I think someone like wanted to like creative direct for me and like reached out about doing that. And I was just like, this cheeseball, like I can do that myself. Like I don't really think it. I felt kind of insulted just because I was like, I feel like a lot of times, whether it's like with like fashion or creative, people are always like, I want to elevate you. And I'm like, I'm elevated, motherfucker. Like, don't you need help? Like, do you want me to help you? Like, it pissed me off. And so I feel like I went in writing this song where like, it was not that serious of a situation, but this song sounds so dramatic and is like, I hate you, blah, blah, blah. But it's like seeing those people out and you're just like, But I think, yeah, like this song, like the long intro, everything about it, I kept wanting to like push against what I have heard a lot and everyone trying to shorten their songs down with like the whole, TikTok wave of music, which is fine. Like I love a short track, but I got really into the idea of being like, we need to do like these long extendo soul wax like intros. Like I kept being like, a song needs to take a second to like get cooking. Like I kept saying that like exact phrasing.
Huh.
And I just, like I think this song, it kind of like it unfolds and it feels like a movie scene in your head. And as soon as we made it, I saw like the music video and like the gunshot through the door sequence at the drop and like all these different things. And yeah, it just felt kind of like a good intro to this album universe.
It's really tense.
Yeah.
Every moment of the introduction is like these discordant intervals that are just making me like, oh my gosh, what's got to happen? I'm like kind of feeling uncomfortable, and you're waiting for like you need the beat to come in.
Yeah.
And that tension, I think, is what holds me in that place.
Yeah.
So I want to know more about creating Slater. Kyle says
the distance between who she is as a person and like the character is like not that far in the best way. But like she also is like an amazing architect of the character. Like her art brain is unbelievable.
Oh my God. I love those guys. That is so nice.
So how was Slater conceived, and what does this name mean to you today?
Honestly, it used to feel a little more like conceived or more of like a character than it is now currently. My artist name comes from the movie Dazed and Confused.
Wait, it does?
Yeah, the character Slater. Catch you later, man. I had such a crush on him in high school. I loved like stoner characters. I feel like in high school everyone goes through that phase where you start smoking weed for the first time and you're just like you're like everything like stoner related is like the coolest shit to you. You start watching stoner movies, you like everyone was wearing like the Huff like weed socks. I was like obsessed with Dazed and Confused and all of that. And I just loved the character Slater. I love that word. And then when I became more in touch with like the internet or building like an internet presence, I like made my username Slater. And then I added the Y's because Slater was taken.
Right.
And I wanted my Instagram handles. And then everyone thought it was because of the word slay, but it's, it's not.
What does having a pseudonym allow you to do?
Before I even started making music, like friends would call me Slater in general, just because that was like my Twitter username. Like that was kind of like a persona. It doesn't really feel like a character. I think on my first couple of projects, I built more of like a fantasy person around my music. Where like this album feels a little bit more, I'm like, this is me being authentic. This is my authentic, like it's not, but it feels more in line with me, and it doesn't really feel like it's such a disconnect. It's almost like it's just like a nickname. Like when you're in high school and people are like, I don't know, in St. Louis, everyone has like ridiculous nicknames, I guess. Like all my like guy friends would always have like the most random nicknames. So it almost feels like that's like a nickname I gave myself in a way. Like it's not really a different entity.
So you frame this album as a little bit of a reset.
Yeah.
It has a different sonic territory. Things are definitely edgier.
Yeah.
A lot more distortion. Well, why the reset?
I guess after my last project, I felt like all these like mishaps kept going on in my like music career. I had like a big financial loss and like issue with this previous merch company I was with. And it was like, there were like articles about it. It was this whole crazy thing where it was like, a bunch of people lost money and it was like the whole company went under, blah, blah, blah. But like got like screwed over on a bunch of money with that, putting like so much of my own money into tour. Things just felt like they weren't working out. It felt like I was always like sinking money into stuff and like going into like debt or going into the hole and then having things shift. Music didn't feel like it was hitting off. Like my tour, some of the cities sold well, but not all of them. And so I was just so over it. And I was like, you know what? I don't have a college education. Maybe this isn't working out for me. Maybe I don't want to be the girl who's like 35 and like had some internet clout like back in the day, and like I'm still trying to maybe I should just give up. Maybe this isn't for me. And so I had like a really weird period, a very depressed kind of like dark period where I was just like I'm over this. Like I don't want to do this anymore. And I kind of made the internal plan of I'm going to go into the studio, I'm going to make one more album, I'm going to do one more album and roll out, and maybe a tour if I can afford it. Like we'll see how that goes, but like I'm going to make one more album. I'm going to put everything into this project. I'm going to go into the studio every day being like, if this is the last song people heard from me, would I be proud of that? I don't want to make anything that's like commercial sounding in any way. I want to work with just me and producers. I don't want to have any like extra top line songwriters in the mix. I want it to just be me and producer writing and shaping the sound. I just kind of wanted to throw caution to the wind and kind of create an album that I would be really proud of, that I think is cool. Not something that I think my audience would like, not something that I think people would like necessarily. And, yeah, I feel like it made me like not as afraid to tap into like screaming or like more like electronic like punk references, or like being really distorted and like, you know, referencing like straight boy like rapper culture and things like that. I think I just kind of did my thing, and it's been crazy the response on it all, because I didn't think anyone would really fuck with it, I guess.
You had it's almost a like going for broke attitude.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was like, this is my last hurrah. After this, like, I don't want to like keep doing this to know, like, I don't know. I just felt like things were really slowing down for me. And I think my previous project, I had so much hope that like everyone was like, oh, these songs are hits. Like this will be the breakthrough. And like, you're told that like every time. And I was just like, why do I even care about like making hits? I was like hair salon receptionist. Like, what are we doing here? You know, I wanted to tap back into why I started making music in the first place, which was kind of like from a very nerding out about like production kind of like, you know, place, and not really caring about, oh, this song is like written by a really big songwriter, this is like a really cool thing, or this sounds like this, you know? Yeah.
There's so much rawness to this record, in the sonics, in the lyrics. I feel like there's both lots of themes of like just absolute reckless hedonism.
Yeah.
But also songs of like longing and desire. We already heard a little bit of that, you know, Brittany Murphy versus, which is sort of the deeper personal dance. Not saying that it's not personal, but it's a little bit more, has got this sort of attitude. I mean, I think about like a song, like the difference between something like Crank, which is like, it's the most braggadocious, over the top.
He wanna fuck Slater, Richard, we should link later. Get to my hotel and suck him off. In the elevator, Saint Laurent, jacket on the ground. Money maker, I spilled the salt shaker, buckle bunny, bad behavior.
Versus a song like Gas Station.
Yeah.
When you left me all alone at the gas station, I was crying out my eyes, oh the desperation.
Really different kind of attitudes representing, and I'm curious how you feel about representing sort of these the different sides of your persona.
Yeah, I feel like there's kind of two layers to me as an artist, where like there's like a very tough, like nonsensical lyric, like bars and just like 808 like side of music I like to tap into, and then there's kind of like a softer pop side that I also like as well. I feel like I can't really choose between the two. I feel like the first single for this rollout is like definitely like Beat Up Chanel's feels to me like it was like a perfect blend of both. Like the verses are very much that more aggressive, like kind of like rap side.
Money, drugs, chains on my chest, that vintage Celine, diamond grills, champagne bottles, swagger I bleed. I want sex, money, bitches, and the stickiest weed. I want a cigarette.
The hook is like a softer, sadder, like saying the same things, but just like singing them in like a sad kind of longing way. But
Yeah.
Sex, money, drugs, chains on my chest, vintage Celine, diamond grills, champagne bottles I get for free. I want sex, money, bitches, and the stickiest weed. Fuck, I'm going towards closets for some others.
yeah, I feel like everything still fits together, but I always have liked tapping into both. I feel like every project I've made, there's always kind of like a little bit of like the spoken word, like a little bit of like the grit, but then also like I like a soft, sad, kind of pop song.
Beat Up Chanel's in particular, there's just like this one line that really does it for me. I mean, so much of that song is just like sex, money, drugs. It's like rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunately heard as transgressive when it comes through the voice of like not a male rocker from the 60s.
Yeah.
But there's this sweetness in this song where I want beat up Chanel's. So first of all, just like the metaphor of like, I want to like have the nice things and like wear them in.
Or not even that. I feel like it's more like I can't afford like Chanel out of the store.
Yeah.
Like I'll take like
Whatever.
I'll take someone's aunt's like fucked up purse like from their closet like
Or-
that.
yeah,
like
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
buy that off you for like $100. Like I want that. Like that's like luxury to me.
But then it's the next line. I want something for real.
Yeah.
Just like there's
Doesn't
something
even
about
make
the way that the way that line hits. The aggressiveness of the verses, and there's like this sort of sweetness in that one little line that I think it reveals like it's not a caricature.
Yeah. It feels very, I feel like a lot of this album was me tapping back into my like teen years or like St. Louis teen years. And to me, like that line itself, like I want something for real. Like that sounds like a stoned like Missouri teenager being like, I just want like, I want bigger things than this, man. Like blah, blah, blah.
It's
I feel like,
aspirational.
yeah, I think that song is, I feel like that song does have like a very sad quality to it just because even though the lyrics, like it starts with this like money, drugs, chains on my chest. And then I think when you sing that kind of part in like a softer, sadder way, like it's kind of like all the things that you like dream about or are longing for, or, like maybe feel unattainable to you. And I feel like that this like world like felt very unattainable to me when I was like younger, but like now that I'm like here or like in it, like it's not like I wish it was the version I had in my head when I was like a teenager, I guess. And I think that this song has kind of like a nostalgia for kind of like when you're younger and like what you think that like the life is going to be like.
There's a lot of throwback here. You have a song like Old Technology where we've got iPods, Tumblr, references to Yeezus. Maybe?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a god.
Oh, yeah, I did. Well, I mean, I feel like this album, like, I was inspired by the production of that album a lot, but I wasn't, like, referencing it, like, directly.
Okay. Forget about that. Old Technology. What does old technology do? What is it communicating to you versus the world of the new technology that we live in today?
I think it can represent a lot of things. I think that it feels to me like a metaphor for even, like, doing, like, drugs in a way that's, like, an old technology or, like, smoking weed out of, like, a water bottle bong or, like, whatever. Like, I think that
BPA free, of course.
BPA free. See, there was like a time where like I didn't even know what BPA was. We're talking about like pre BPA awareness
Far
days.
ruined our brains.
Yeah. But I think I don't know. Like I think when I was younger, I think that like everything with music or like the internet, like there was like something that felt so different about it than it feels now. I feel like everything is so at our fingertips, whether it's music streaming, you can listen to any song from any artist at any point, whenever you want, wherever you are. And I think with AI, photos, everything looks so perfect and retouched and like poreless and like it's like so robotic and feels like, I feel like as everything gets more advanced, I think people naturally start to gravitate like backwards, where it's like we have like phones, we have like really high quality cameras on our phones, but everybody likes the digital cameras now, and it's like more of a pain in the ass to like put the photos on your thing and upload that on Instagram. But I just think there's something about like vinyl or like listening to music on an iPod, or even like I love like CD players, listening to like a CD all the way through on like a Walkman. Like there's something that feels very charming about that, and I feel like it makes media feel like more of an experience, like when you're listening to an album in that way rather than when you can just like throw it on. I forget who this quote is from or like where I've seen this, but I think maybe it's just like a saying, but like convenience being like a killer, like convenience is the biggest killer. I fully agree with that. I feel everything is just too easy. I feel like even with the mixing of this album, I was like, I don't want it to be mixed to perfection. Like I want things to like clip a bit. I want it to be a little like, I want it to like hurt the ears a little bit. I want it to feel a little blown out in some places. Like I didn't want it to be like, everything is just so perfect these days and so mixed to perfection. Every image is so like airbrushed to perfect. Like I wanted to step into like a realer, uglier place for this project.
Which is a radical departure from your last album, which opens up with a song about sort of celebrating Hollywood. And Hollywood is, and that album has some of the rough edges for sure, but a lot more like it's a really clean, big, Hollywood, polished kind of sound.
Stay behind. My chest, now you're nothing but an X. That's the cause and the effects.
I want to talk about your vocal process. When I was talking with Nate and Kyle, they said that you are super tuned in to vocals. Again, like you go in, you know what you want. I noticed on the song Yes God, you let the drums push the voice out of the way.
Yeah.
Like you're like ducked by the drums. Very powerful.
Yeah.
So I want to know more about how you approach making a vocal, and also on this song, why you tried to include that sort of push and pull back and forth between the instrumental and the vocal.
Yeah, I think, every song kind of requires a little something different. I feel like I don't really use one singular version of my voice either, which I feel like, when I first started as an artist, there's always like pressure where it's like, what's your sound and like, what's your voice? But I feel like I have so many different almost like accents or like versions of like how I sing and how I like rap, how I talk. I like call it like tweaker twang a little bit. Like on some songs like Crank, like it's like a little bit of like Missourian, like kind of like a grating, like you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's just, I like to play with vocals in a different way. Like I feel like there's a lot of different, it's almost, it just feels like different personalities. But like I think every song requires something a little bit different. I think with this album, every single session I was like distortion, like throw the distortion on. I'm not really I don't really love like clocky like AutoTune as much. So I feel like the distortion feels like it like makes your voice like crackle and like you can lean into it in different ways with like screaming, and it just like I just love the way it sounds. I love the way that like harsh things like sound in my ears. So that's probably has a lot to do with why this album turned out the way it did. But
you then also have like the opposite with like Unknown Lovers is a song where it's very airy and light. And it's the exact opposite of a song like Crank, which is just in your face. That sort of brassy, distorted sound.
Yeah, for sure. Both have distortion though, which is funny.
Oh, interesting.
It's like more of like a telephone kind of vocal on Unknown Lovers. But yeah, I think that's like, I feel like with this project, I especially putting Unknown Lovers after Yes God, it's like this like screaming like crazy, like the end of the song is like this electronic breakdown, and then it's almost kind of like funny, like the needle drop into like burn you a CD, like it comes down to this like little soft little like girl in her bedroom having a crush place. Yeah, I feel like I approach vocals differently for every song, but the through line is just like whatever it needs, or like whatever the song kind of is kind of like what personality comes out. So it's almost like Yes God is like talking shit, so it's like louder and like more aggressive, and like I'm just like screaming bloody murder. And then Unknown Lovers is kind of like this like insecure, like I hope he likes me back kind of like crush song, and it's like a little more like timid. The vocals feel like a little more like shy, I guess, but it really just depends on the song. But I feel like vocal processing, like I can't even record unless the vocal processing on the mic is like somewhat what it will end up being like we always like change things around, but I need like distortion, I need a little delay, I need like something with like that it has a little slap to it, like I need all these different things just to like hear it and like lean into recording it right. I feel like it helps the performance better. And everything to me is about like the performance, and not so much like I feel like melodies can change when I'm doing it live. I don't really like to like hammer down a melody until like I could like record and something like changes a little bit, and like to me that there's like a liveness and like a magic to it that way, I guess.
The sound of the vocal deeply informs how you're going to perform the vocal, which affects the emotion that we perceive of the vocal.
Absolutely. Like if I like recorded Cannibalism with like no distortion on it and just like did my verses and then had them put it on after, I probably wouldn't have been like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't make you like cry or like whine or crackle your voice in the same way, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's these two somewhat confessional songs. Maybe that's the right word. Might be the wrong word. I'm actually kind of famous. and what it's like to be liked.
Yeah.
Will you tell me about those?
I feel like Actually Kind of Famous is almost like a joke. I feel like I definitely don't feel famous. I feel like the song though, it almost feels like you're having like a bad acid trip and like someone, whether it's me or someone talking to me, is like cornering your room being like, like I'm actually like, I'm like kind of a big deal. Like it's like one of those.
It's the worst girl in the world kind of attitude.
It's the worst girl in the world attitude. I'm so not that person, but to me, like the actual worst girl in the world in America or whatever is like someone who like thinks they're hot shit like that. And like sometimes I feel like I go back and forth to where I'm like, nobody cares about me, like no one likes me, nobody wants to play with me on the playground. And then I'll have this flip where I'm like, I'm the greatest artist that ever lived and you're all wrong. Like I don't know if that's like mania or like what, but I get into these swings of like false confidence. And then I think that song kind of comes from like a drunk Punisher at a party kind of like mentality. So it's like either I'm saying that to someone or someone's saying that to me, but it could be one and the same. And I feel like the whole way that it unlocks, like it's just spoken word the whole time, but I just feel like it feels like it like feels like you're getting cornered in a bathroom and some girl's like, I never said that, like you're having auditory hallucinations. Like the whole thing is just like a waste. It just feels like unhinged.
I did have the feeling, I know that St. Louis was a big influence and the sort of upbringing was a big influence in making this record. A lot of the sounds to me sound like what happens in a really dirty New York City club bathroom.
Love.
And I mean that in the most positive way.
Yeah.
It's just like it's unbridled. It's grungy. It's like something happening in the corner I should be paying attention to.
Yeah.
Everything is happening.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that energy on there. I would argue that people, like everyone, like when you think of like nightlife in like major cities like New York or LA, everyone's like, oh, the party. People in the Midwest, I promise you, like drink crazier. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've been the criminal. I've been the culprit. I've been like, I think that like, yes to like the dirty New York bathroom, but like dirty St. Louis bathroom, get out now. You know what I mean?
Safe.
It's not safe. The drugs are not what people say. The alcohol is stronger somehow. I don't know the science behind it, but I always say I'm like, I get drunk in a way that is not normal in like when I drink in St. Louis. I don't know if the pouring is heavier. I don't know if there's like some kind of like government, if they're putting something in the liquor bottles out there. I don't know what it is, but I feel like people just drink crazier. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah. But what about like in comparison to like what it's like to be liked, which is maybe title wise dealing with a similar kind of feeling, but presenting that same concept in a very different way.
I feel like that song almost feels like two truths and a lie, or two lies and a truth, where I feel like the lyrics being so like, I look stunning and like I live in a mansion and I get designer. It's like those are all such false things to like me and my life. But I feel like when you hear those like lyrics, it's kind of on this like sad, kind of like brooding beat.
Come take my picture, I get rich when my day is long. No Balenciaga, all that Prada, I don't pay.
And then it gets into like me like being a little more real, being like, oh, like everyone thinks I'm a loser, everyone thinks I'm a cheap copy of other artists. Like I want to die. I want to like just spend every last dime of my money and like move back in with my mom. Like that is kind of where it ends on, but it starts with this very like false narrative of like bullshit, which I think as an artist everyone tries to put on.
You are, though, a little bit on a bit of a roller coaster. These songs have been received very positively, have been some of the most successful rollouts of your career. You made something going for broke, have made things that are really resonating with folks. What are you hoping to leave people with? And maybe at the same time, what are you wanting to get out of this?
I just want to keep creating like constantly. I feel so addicted to making visuals. I've always been a very artsy kid, like whether it was drawing or like making little like shorts that I would see on Tumblr and like rhinestoning stuff. Like I love creating stuff. I want to keep doing that for the rest of my life as long as possible. I hope that what people take away from like this rollout, especially artists or people that are in any kind of like creative zone, is that, I was almost done with this album, signed to a major to like release it all. And like, yes, I did have like budget for the first time to like play around with, but the approach was really more like DIY than I think people would realize. It felt like making things with my friends constantly. So I would hope that people or smaller artists realize that you don't need to like fluff up your visual, your creative world with like so much, and like to make something compelling, like to make a compelling visual, just like think about what your music like evokes out of you. Like think in your head when you hear your song, like what does it make you think of? And like approach that. Like have your friend grab a camera and like just go shoot stuff and like try stuff and like make things and get your hands in there, like make your own costumes. Like don't always leave it. I feel like the magic of this album is that it's not like leave everything up to like teams and like have like final approval at the end. It's like all of us like made this together. You know what I mean? I hope people feel inspired to like make their own stuff and make their own things in their own way and know that you don't need like money to do so or budget to do so. It's just like a creativity thing, you know? Yeah.
I so appreciate the call to just keep on creating.
Yeah.
It's something I most admire in my favorite musicians.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Slater, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank
I so
you for
appreciate
having
it.
me. And thank
It's
you,
been
Nate and
delightful.
Kyle. Shout out to Nate and Kyle
Aren't they delightful?
for phoning their phone in.
It was really fun to chat with them.